This is the Daily Pulse. I'm Travis Zimmerman from Speak My Word Ministries. We are nearing the end of a 7-day series on Paul, the Apostle Paul's words in Romans chapter 5, verses 3 to 5, where he talks about how suffering produces perseverance. So suffering like Jesus Christ produces perseverance like the Joseph of the Old Testament. And then that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance leads to character like Daniel. And then character leads to hope. And that was like we talked yesterday about Job chapter 19, verse 25. I know my Redeemer lives, and that hope will not put you to shame. That's what the Apostle Paul teaches. And as I think about an example of that, God led me to the book of Ruth and how God worked through these beautiful ladies, Naomi and Ruth. Naomi left with her husband and her 2 sons when there was a famine, and came back empty. He said, call me Mar. It means bitter because the Lord has sent me, has left me bitter with nothing. She was feeling dejected. And yet, against all odds, and God doesn't listen to the odds, Ruth stuck with Naomi. And Ruth said, in Ruth 1:16, where you go, I will go. And where you stay, I will stay. Your God will be my God. And God honors that. It says suffering, perseverance, character, and hope. But hope does not disappoint us. What Naomi and climactically we find at the end of the book of Ruth is this. And I'll share it with you. It's Ruth chapter 4, verses 13 to 15. It says this. So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. Then he went to her, and the Lord enabled Ruth to conceive, and she gave birth to a son. The women said to Naomi, praise be to the Lord, who this day has not left you without a kinsman redeemer. May he become famous throughout Israel. He will renew your life and sustain you in your old age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you and who is better to you than 7 sons, has given him birth. So Naomi is just soaking this in. Ruth delivers her grandson, and that grandson is, of course, we know the lineage there. This will be, Ruth is the great grandmother of King David. And Jesus is the son of David. So our hope in Jesus Christ will not disappoint us. It's so vividly recounted here through these 2 women and how God used those circumstances to bring glory to himself. And that hope Jesus never, ever disappoints us in his name. Amen.